What's going on YouTube? SpencerDog24 here with another Porsche 944 video, and today I'm going to be replacing my master cylinder on my 84 NA. First thing we're going to want to do is locate the master cylinder. So you can find your fuel reservoir right here. Go all the way up. This splatter is just PB blaster. To find it, go all the way up to the firewall and then go about 6 inches over to your left, to your right, and you'll see mine is right down there, all nice and rusty. I've already removed the two 13mm bolts, so the master cylinder has been loosened. Now it's time to unplug this hose, which runs to right here on the reservoir tank. I'm going to disconnect that now. Now with that hose removed, I'm actually looking at it right here, and it seems that the previous owner used a 8mm hose, PCV, which is fine. So if you, if you need to know the diameter or inner diameter of that hose, it's 8mm. Now to make things easier working on the master cylinder, I'm going to disconnect this hose as well as disconnect this hose from here, because I need to get to this 12mm nut where the other end of this line connects to the slave cylinder, and these hoses are in my way, so I'm going to remove those. Okay, new plan on the line removal. Instead of taking out that hose, I removed the two 10mm bolts here, as well as this little screw-on guy I have. The reason why I did it this way is because this little flathead screw, I literally cannot get it out so far. I kind of feel like a bitch about it because it's a flathead screw. It should come out, but this thing's been soaked in PB blaster. I've had my drill on it, and it is very well seized up. So I'm not going to cash in my my man card yet, because I will get that unstuck. I just don't want to take 4 days to do it. So to carry on with the video, I'm just going to tuck these guys out of the way, and now I have a much better access to my master cylinder right here. Now I'm going to take my 12mm flare wrench, hook it on this guy right here, and oh, there we go, and just twist it off. The other end of this hose connects to the slave cylinder. I already have that part disconnected, so it's kind of hard to wrench and shoot video. And nobody, there we go. Oh, bear with me, let me see if maybe I can, oh, okay, well that's, so we're gonna unscrew, and of course it gets stuck at the last second. So let me get this fuel line out and I will be back with you. Okay, so with this line removed, I know I just called it a fuel line and it's not. This is the line that connects the master cylinder to the slave cylinder. So we're gonna follow it all the way down under the car, and if you can follow my finger, there is one more bolt that we need to remove, and it's right there. I'm gonna hop under the car and show you where you can disconnect that. Okay, so now I am under the car, and I can't really get my hands up there, but there's the brake booster, and here is that line, and we're gonna go ahead, and I can't get my hand anywhere, so that is the bolt I'm gonna need to remove. That is 8mm. So once I remove that, I'll be able to remove this entire line, and I will see you above the car. Okay, so removing that 8mm bolt did not work for me, because the other side, it was just getting all stripped up. Well, not stripped up, but basically what I did do is the other end of that bolt is mounted by a 13 millimeter bolt to the engine. I just disconnected the 13 millimeter bolt, and let me see if I can, yeah. There's the other end of it. That's a 13 millimeter that's connected by the engine. That was easier for me since the bolt kept just turning and I couldn't counter it with anything. So where I am back now is I have the line removed, and I'm just going to go ahead and pull it through while pushing down. Pull it up under, over. And so now with a little bit of persuasion, I should be able to pull the entire line off. So I will see you when that's off the car. Okay, so I finally was able to get the line removed from this is the tip where the master cylinder goes, and then you follow it down. Now the bolt I was talking about that you can get to, that I was showing you before, is this one. Now this is the 13 millimeter bolt that connects to the engine, and what happened was this kept spinning and I wasn't able to counter this guy. So I just removed the 13 millimeter bolt, and this is the other side that connects to the slave cylinder. So once this hose was removed, I fished it through all the wires and hoses and everything, and that was a bigger ordeal than what I thought it was going to be. But thankfully I was able to get it on. And so now I'm going to be going under the dash. All right, so right now I'm going to wedge myself underneath the driver footrest area where the clutch and brake and gas pedal are. So I can, first I need to do a measurement to see what the distance is. And also I need a 13 millimeter wrench to remove the counter nut for the master cylinder. I'm going to show you more once I get positioned under there. Okay, so I am underneath the car. You're actually looking at my DME. Here is the clutch pedal. Now we're going to go up and under, and that gold rod right there, please be patient with me, it is a bear. Okay, that connects to the master cylinder right here. That is your, here's your counter nut, right, wait, this is fucking, okay, there's your counter nut right here, that's 13 millimeter. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I need to measure the distance before I touch that counter nut. So I'm going to get my, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this while recording. Alright, I'm going to measure it, remove the counter nut, and then I'm going to unscrew the master cylinder right there. Here's actually a better part of what it looks like. So I'm going to measure that distance, remove the 13 millimeter, and unscrew it from this piece right here, and I will see you once that's out of the car. Okay, so I got the measurements, and so I just unscrewed the counter nut to here. So now to remove it, all you do is you just keep unscrewing this part right here, and all right, so now I can go ahead, go to the other side and pull the master. Okay, so now that I have all that removed, this should just slide right out. Here she comes. Twist her around this way. See if you guys, here we go. That's a better shot for you. And, all right, there we go. She is out. She is out. There she is. Let me get you a side-by-side to the new and old. Okay, so here is a side-by-side. This is what the old one looks like. And here's what the brand new one looks like. So yeah, needless to say, this was pretty gummed. Okay, so when I was talking about measuring before, took this guy right here and I measured from the end of that one to the end of the nut, and I'm getting right at 27 millimeter. Now Porsche does give you right around 3 millimeters of play, so that is not 100% exact. So respectfully, I should, have the counter nut right around there. So I'm going to go ahead and change those out. Now I have the counter nut installed on the new master cylinder. I purchased a new paper gasket from Paragon. It was $5 and $6 delivered, so that wasn't a bad price at all. I've already removed all the old gasket from the firewall, so now it's just time for me to slide this on, and I'm going to put the master cylinder back in the car, and I will see you back there. Alright, so my master cylinder slid in, and as you can see, there's the new paper gasket. So it's really just a matter of getting them lined up, and now let's put the 13 millimeter nuts back on. So I hand tightened back the two 13 millimeter nuts, and it's time to reconnect the 12 millimeter hydraulic line. Okay, so I now have everything torqued down. The two 13 millimeter bolts, they have 15 foot-pounds of torque. This 12 millimeter flare line, this has 11 foot-pounds of torque, as well as the slave cylinder has the same amount. Those two 13 millimeters are also 15, and the other end of the hydraulic line, that is 12 foot-pounds. So now that I have those torqued down, I can start putting this back together, and I will do that right now. Now it's time to reconnect the master cylinder to the clutch pedal. So I'm going to get myself situated under there and be right back with you. Alright, so I have the master cylinder screwed into the clutch pedal, and I have the counter nut set. Now you want about 3 millimeters of play before before it engages. So as you see right there, and I'm pretty good right now. I haven't bled the system. I'll do that later, and I'm going to see you guys once I get out of this position. Okay, so once the system is bled, I'm actually going to bleed my clutch as well as my brakes, so I'm going to make a different video. But once your system's entirely bled, everything is torqued down to the proper specs, you should only get about 3 to 5 millimeters of play on the pedal before it engages. Now that I got the 3 to 5 millimeters of play taken care of with the clutch pedal, and that's engaging properly, the last thing I need to do is go underneath the car and measure the distance of the clutch from the access hole. If you find your starter looks straight up, there should be a little rubber cap that goes on it. My car doesn't have that. I'm going to find out a lot of ones don't. And just take your micrometer. Mine, I'm not sitting at 17. I measured mine, and it's about 21, 22 millimeters of play, which is fine. Porsche recommends at least 18 millimeters is the new clutch. Up to 34 millimeters, you're fine. Anything past 34 millimeters, your clutch is going to need to be replaced. So let me get back in a better position. Alright, now that I have everything all squared away and fixed up, I've officially changed the master cylinder on my Porsche 944. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And my next one, I will be putting the transaxle back in. So thank you for watching and have a good day. Bye-bye.